have a splinter, but no tweezers to get it out. What am I gonna do? Wait a minute, I have 3/4 that I could use. I can't fit my Snoop Dogg wine into my Ziploc bag. At least I have this inside-out Ziploc bag. Now I can fit twice as many things. How on earth am I supposed to keep my zesty curly fries fresh without a proper bag clip? There's just no possible way. I did it. Never get a paper cut, okay? One way to heal it immediately and get rid of the pain is chapstick. Yeah, that works. There's a lot of ways to get rid of the hiccups, but one way that I stick by because it resets your diaphragm is sticking a pen in your mouth and then drinking some water. My dad was a beekeeper for a little bit, so I got to learn about all the benefits from raw honey. And one thing that it can do is actually get rid of acne scars. So you just put a little bit on your face and then wipe it off after a few hours. A hard time taking pills, try remembering this, okay? If it's a tablet, swallow with your chin up because it sinks. But if it's a capsule, swallow with your chin down because it floats. So whenever your child's watching TV, make sure that you put on the subtitles, okay? That way they learn spelling and verbal skills at the same time. So if you're a smoker and you can't quit or you really don't want to quit, try drinking more black tea, okay? Because it's been proven to prevent lung damage caused by smoking. Car's been sitting in the sun for a while and it's too hot to get in. The quickest way to cool it off is by rolling down one side window and with the other side just pumping the hot air out. It takes less than a minute. If there's someone riding my ass, I don't brake check because that's dangerous. So instead, I like to just hit my windshield wiper fluid. That way it flies back and hits them and lets them know that they're way too fucking close. If you're driving in an area with a lot of stoplights, usually if you just go the exact speed limit, you'll only hit greens. Speed limit's 40 right now, so I'll go 40. There's 1, 2, 3. I even got the green arrow. Frying something in a pan like bacon, if you just add a little bit of salt to the pan, it'll stop the grease from splattering back at you. If you're on the phone with customer service and just stuck talking to a robot, if you keep clicking the pound button, it'll force the system to let you talk to a human. If you're like me and your hand's just too big to get to the chips at the bottom of the Pringles can, one thing you can do is get a piece of paper and just like shove it in there. That way they all come out without making a mess.
I just crush them up and drink them.
You gotta shave your armpits or your legs or your, you know, if you put deodorant over the area, it'll prevent razor burn. If you have a knot in your shoelace or your chain or something like that, try putting a little bit of cornstarch on it. This will untangle anything. If you ever burn yourself on something, don't grab ice, okay? What you need to do is get some yellow mustard, rub it over the area, and rinse with cold water. This stuff's like the magic eraser for burns. An ice cube to get gum out of the hair, okay? Because it hardens it up and makes it easier to get out. If you're worried about whether or not your breath stinks, what you have to do is lick your wrist and then smell it, because that's what it smells like to everybody else around you. If you're trying to call out from work and you want to sound sick, what you have to do is hang your head off the bed. That way you sound more congested on the phone. If you have a pimple, one thing you can do is put a little bit of honey on it, cover it with the Band-Aid overnight, and by the time you wake up, it'll be gone and it won't leave a scar. If after you run the dishwasher, your dishes still come out wet, one thing you can do is right when it's done, take a dry towel, hang it over the edge, and then just gently close it. In about 30 minutes, they'll all be dry. So if you ever get a bruise that you kind of just want to go away, one thing that you can do is apply pressure to it and then rub in a clockwise motion. This will activate and speed up the lymphatic process and your body will just naturally get rid of it. You guys know that you can flip things in a pan by just flipping the pan? You've been using a can opener wrong this whole time, dude. It doesn't go sideways. It's supposed to go flat like this. And then you twist it along this way. Okay, so I just did the whole thing the flat way, and look, the can opens the correct way without having to dig your fingers around in there. If you want to quickly stop a pot of water from boiling over, just put a wooden spoon on top of it. This works because the wood is hydrophobic, which means that it can't absorb the water, and instead it just punctures the surface tension of the bubbles. Ever get a ring stuck on your finger? Okay, just add a little bit of Windex to it, and I promise you it'll come right off. Wow. If your coffee ever just tastes a little too bitter, add a pinch of salt. This shit is life-changing. If you're ever out of the house and you realize that your armpits just fucking stink, but you don't have any deodorant on hand, try adding a little bit of hand sanitizer. Smell is caused by bacteria. This kills 99.9% of bacteria. Just don't make it a regular thing because your skin's sensitive.